news, and I am live. We have some Warriors only comment. He said, "You haven't covered Bam Rodriguez' breakout performance, but have been covering this Tommy and Jake circus fight. Sup with that?" First off, Tommy is a real boxer. Jake Paul is presuming he is a boxer, and that's what we're covering. But Bam Rodriguez will definitely get attention as the time is due. Um, but this is big news because it seems like this is the second time, like lightning strikes twice, like, oh, this is all of a sudden happening. So we have to really address that. Okay. I did get some new intel. We know now that Tommy Fury was supposedly, allegedly denied entry into the U.S. because of Daniel Kinahan, which we expected, but it was weird that he didn't know why, you know. But let's look up a couple sources. This is from TMZ, okay, which they cover all of like paparazzi like stuff. And it says the Fury family's relationship with the major Irish crime bosses was keeping Tommy from entering the U.S., with the U.S. officials placing a travel ban on any fighters, managers, and promoters with ties to the wanted man. Daniel Kinahan, who helped found the MTK Global boxing promotion company that previously repped Tyson Fury, is accused of running a massive drug and firearm trafficking operation in Europe and is currently on the run from authorities, as we know that. Okay. Um, I didn't know how close Tommy Fury was with Daniel Kinahan, you know, but if Tommy is anywhere near his brother is somewhat near Daniel. Okay. So when you guys come in, hit that button. And the question you ask yourself, though, was his name on the list? You know, and this list is supposed to be 600 people. And I'm thinking, okay, what type of people are these? Are these all like boxing officials, affiliated people? What is it? Like, you know, let me see this list. Did we know what this list was? How did they know it was 600? Those are the things that you ask yourself, because it's like, okay, well, if Tommy wasn't on the 600 really, or primarily, what it was, you know, what was it actually? You know, I mean, he could have seen it, you know, because look, let me read this to you, right? And let me go in and let's break down what Tommy said primarily. All right. And let's see. Kurt, did you see the press conference in London today, Usyk Joshua? You know what? I just saw that, and we're going to dive into that after we dissect this. Okay, we got to counterpunch this, and let's hear it.
Morning, I'm going to set the record straight before anybody else tries to. Me and my team this morning arrived at Heathrow Airport, ready for the press conference, ready to fly out. And as soon as I entered the airport, I got pulled to one side and I was told by the Homeland Security officer that was there that my ESTA had been denied and I wasn't able to travel to the USA for a reason that I apparently know. I can stand here and say I've done absolutely nothing wrong and I have no clue why I'm not allowed to travel to the USA. Like I said, I've been training for a fight this whole time. You know, and that's all I've been doing. I have no clue why they would not allow me to travel today, and neither does any of my team or my lawyers. So now I'm having to go to the embassies and all this sort of stuff, trying to resolve it. And I'm in the middle of training, guys. I don't know why this has happened today. It's a massive shock to me and my whole team. Obviously, it's a matter that needs to be resolved. It's government issues. You know, it's a lot bigger than the fight right now, and I'm just trying to get it sorted. But I just wanted to let you all know where it was at.
Those are the words of Tommy Fury, as you heard him say. You know, he came to the airport. He didn't know what was going on and why they didn't. And it's crazy though, because now we have other sources, and understand these are sources. How valid they are, we really don't know how valid they really are. But you know, he was stopped. You know, the authorities stopped him. You know, and then he couldn't travel or whatnot. You know, but it would seem to me though, um, he would have been able to fly here first, then get denied to walk around versus getting stopped over there. So you got to ask yourself, like, okay, well, how big is this list? Like, how, you know, what's the stipulations? Because if he didn't know, that means someone should have known from his team that, hey, man, you can't go over there. He should have had prior knowledge. I mean, you would think, right? Iben, to be honest, Joshua seems very angry, and it seems that he really wants to hurt Usyk. From that press conference, I don't know. It's kind of hard to gauge Joshua because I think Joshua now knows what he has to do or knows what he needs to do. Okay. Soul Live. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Rene Padilla. Salute, Kurt. Praise the Lord Jesus Christ Almighty. Get ready. He is coming. Book of Revelations unfolding before your eyes. Counterpunch to you, Rene Padilla. God bless you, brother. Listen, we have, hey, Kurt, they should fight in the UK. No, they shouldn't. But it's back to Joshua, though. Joshua is a fighter that needs a fire under his belly. And I think that's the problem. I mean, you guys see that Joshua, he makes a couple nice, catchy speeches, he wants to be in the situation to say the right things. But as we heard him say in the press conference today, like, hey, let's talk more action. So I think he should focus on that. But I think Anthony Joshua's problem is he's not mean enough. He's not mad enough. And, like Usyk is dangerous because he doesn't have to talk a lot of ish to get the job done. He's not a Jarrell Miller. He didn't turn into an Andy Ruiz post Joshua win. He's the kind of guy that, you can't help but respect him, but he's disarming and he's very, very threatening. He's that type of guy. I think Joshua knows that he is in a corner and he needs to win that fight, do or die. Well, it's going to look bad if he loses again. You have to look at it like in the days we live in boxing, it's bad because you have this idea, and the narrative has been so powerful. If you lose more than 2 fights, you're finished. You're finished. And I think, like, look at White. People really wrote White off. Look at Dominic Brazil. You only have maybe 1 or 2 chances. After that, you're pretty much done. After that, you're done. There is no coming back from that at all. You can't lose twice, right? You know what I mean? And God forbid, it's almost boxing is like baseball. It's like if you lose, look, let me tell you real records. Real records is Oscar De La Hoya's record, Arturo Gotti's record. That's a real record. Mike Tyson's record, Muhammad Ali's record, George Foreman's record. Those are real records. Those are realistic records. Why? Because it reflects the opposition that you've went in there with. Okay? It reflects that, hey, you've been in there with some bad mother suckers. You ain't been in there with no simps, no saps. Like, undefeated records to me is a person that, or their team, has handpicked fights to make them look, to reflect on how their record looks. Okay? Like, I want to believe that, hey, this is where it's at. But we're going to talk about that today. Undefeated records versus, like, okay, Tyson Fury. Do you guys really think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight. He might be, but then one thing that grit cringes me about Tyson is not trying to show anybody anything for any reason that he is the best. He just wants to boast that he is. So as long as he convinces people to know, he can say, I don't care what people think. But then if enough people believe him, or should I say this, if enough people don't believe him, I think he's that guy. I think he's that guy that will try to do something, but as long as he has a bandwagon, nobody cares. You know? Yeah, I'll beat Joshua. He's a bodybuilder. Usyk, he's a middleweight, right? I'm good with just beating White and Wilder. In this generation of fighters, you're 33 years of age. Why would you think that you're the best just by doing that? You know, like, not saying that he couldn't. It's almost like Mayweather boasting instead of fighting. I'm tired of boasters. I'm tired of people boasting about what they can do, what they will do, instead of, hey, how about this? How about show me? How about show me what you can do? You know, you can beat somebody or these fighters in this day and age with one hand tied behind me back. However, right, we have to look at it like this. But in the same breath, you can say, well, hey, I don't want to be punch drunk. Well, beating someone with one hand tied behind your back is evidence of you believing that you're that much better than them, that you don't need but one hand to beat them. But then yet will say, hey, I don't want to suffer from brain damage and I don't want to fight all these guys and suffer my health. Well, obviously you don't believe that those guys, or you can beat those guys in that manner then. You're just talking and it's all cap. It's just all cap. Get in there with Joshua, get in there with Joyce, get in there with Usyk, fight them both, and then see what you can do to them. And if he can beat them one time, there's no need for Tyson Fury to ever fight them again. I'm not saying fight one guy 10 times. What I'm saying is fight all of these guys at least once to show, yeah, see what I did? This is why I'm better than Joshua, because now I beat this guy better than Joshua couldn't beat this guy. Look at what Joshua did versus look what I did. See, at that point, I would be riding with Tyson Fury all the way. Why? Because Tyson Fury got in there and he fought Usyk. Tyson Fury got in there and he beat up Andy Ruiz or stopped Andy Ruiz. That would be hell of impressive. Okay, instead of, oh, well, you know what? Anthony Joshua got bounced off the canvas by a fat guy. You never fought that fat guy. But it goes back to the record. Now we see why your record is the way it is. You beat one guy in this era, and then that's all I need to do. I'm sorry, two guys. I keep forgetting about Dillian White, but here's the thing. Dillian White is not considered one of the best fighters. Who thought Dillian White was one of the best fighters in the division? I'm sorry, who thought he was the best? Who thought he was better than Joshua when Joshua already knocked him out? Who thought that? He never fought Usyk. We have so many fights that didn't happen, so we'll never know what would happen in these fights. We have a super chat by Michael Buffer. AJ lost. He lost his mean streak after he beat Klitschko. He made too much money. Money changes people. I miss the old AJ. Remember the head-to-head versus Brazil. Shout out to you, Michael Buffer, Counterpunch to you. I think that Joshua felt he needed to fight smarter than to get into all those fights like that. I think he felt that, you know what, that Klitschko fight, maybe the Klitschko fight took something out of him. I mean, he was dropped himself, you know, and a person that didn't see defeat. And Klitschko, you know, being Klitschko's not one of those guys that is like, he's not a true finisher. He will get you out with those punches. I mean, he was hurting Joshua. He dropped him he hit him with that right hand, boom. And Joshua was like, oh, he hit Joshua. And then look, Joshua was going down, you know, and Klitschko like ran right into him. But maybe Klitschko did something to Anthony Joshua. that made Anthony's like, you know what? I'm not doing that. And then after that, he fought Takam. And then after Takam, he fought Parker. Then after Parker, he fought, and that Parker was a boring fight, bro. That was one boring fight. Maybe the way it was refereed, because referees, they deal a hand in how a fight is actually fought, based on how they, intervene, and, they might go in there and, oh, well, hey, break. Well, no, maybe they need to punch to get out. Fight doesn't have to be in the United States. They should agree to fight in another country. Rocky Balboa. Well, if they know that, they need to change that now. It should be somewhere else, because like I don't want to see Tommy Fury not fight this guy again. And I think it's going to be a pretty good fight. Very basic level skilled fight with a novice and a prospect. You know what I mean? That's what I think it is. I think that's the fight, but I think what's surrounding it. I think Jake Paul wins. He's like the resistance of the guys that come into boxing, think they can run shit, whereas Tommy Fury is from a boxing family. Okay, so and we want to see what Tommy Fury can do, and this is his opportunity to show who he is, and he represents boxing for boxers. That's what this is about. So it's bigger than just, hey, yeah, Tommy Fury, a young fighter versus the YouTube guy that normally loves to troll and has become very good at it, on top of knocking out MMA guys or retired MMA guys and basketball players, right? Ali fought the best and won. Yeah, the gaming circle. He fought the best and won. Now, now, thing about Tyson Fury, if he doesn't want to end up like Muhammad Ali, but understand Muhammad Ali did the most. I'm not asking Tyson Fury to do the most. I'm asking him to fight a couple more fights and then retire. How do you do that? Fight a couple more fights and then retire? Saying, you know what, I've beat everybody in this generation. And then on top of that, you can say, I am the best because I fought them all. Not that I tried to fight them all. That doesn't count. See, there's the angle there. The angle is, okay, well, hey, I tried to make that fight with Joshua 6 times. We're going to talk about that for a minute, too. The Joshua negotiations. I have not seen Tyson Fury try to make a fight with Anthony Joshua 6 times. When? When did he have time to try to make a fight with Anthony Joshua? When was that? Can anybody tell me what the first time was? Or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth? I know of 2020, after he beat Deontay Wilder, they agreed in principle that a fight will be made between those two. And then they agreed to the fight already. And I think this was June of 2020. Before that, though, he went to Eddie Hearn, coming back to the sport to fight Joshua, and I think this was in 2018. Okay, this was either 2018 or 17, when Tyson Fury was still fat as hell, and he went to Eddie Hearn and he wanted to sign with Eddie, and then this was he wanted 4 tune-up fights. This is all documented. There are receipts on this. And Eddie was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to pay you to fight 4 bums. I'm not doing it. He fought 4 bums anyway. It's just Eddie didn't want to pay for it because he didn't believe in him. He didn't think that he was going to beat Wilder, because that was the guy that he was calling out. Tyson Fury called out Deontay Wilder. Okay? He called out Deontay Wilder, and he proposed the fight to fight Joshua. That's the first and only time besides 2020 that expired in 2021 with the arbitration. Okay? And another thing, you're talking about the arbitration, Tyson Fury and his team knew. Either if Tyson didn't know, his team knew. And I believe his team did know about the arbitration, and I believe that they knew they were going to have to fight Deontay Wilder. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so the 6 times stuff I don't know anything about. Where was the other four? Because the way Tyson is talking, like I tried to make it, he's a diva bitch. Okay, what were the concessions that he needed? And the thing is, like, I know as a commentator or an interviewer, right, you have to just let a person talk. But then after they talk, it's time to counterpunch. A lot of times people would hate me a lot of times because, you don't want to piss off no one because, when you do an interview with certain people, if you challenge them too much, then they feel intimidated, to go back. You get the opportunity to get them again back where you need them to interview them once again. I think a lot of times if you cater to them a little bit, but it's like to be objective makes more sense because me hearing that was it Coogan Cassius, that interview, it was like, okay, you let him say 6 times. Where in the Hades did he have a 6-time proposal? 6 times. Now what you could say, well, he said 6 times because he was just exaggerating. But I mean, 6 times is, why not 4 or 5? Like, man, 4 or 5 times. No, he said 6. Like 6 was this number that he knew the amount of times that he tried or his team tried to make the fight with Anthony Joshua. Okay, so that what really puzzles me about that. Okay. Joel, howdy, Kurt. Appreciate you, brother. A90 facts. Kurt, they're coming. MTK, it's all play out in public soon. There's too many high profile people involved, not to. I heard that. Robert Harrison, Jesus Christ as Lord. Say it, brother. Avala. Joe Joyce, Usyk, AJ, loads of fights for Fury left. Yeah, it's a load of fights for Fury left. And it's like, I just don't see why for a person too that has mental illness, for a person, because it seems like to me, it's just too many things come to mind when I talk about Fury or the Furies. Like with Tyson, he needs smaller goals. If fighters are so beneath him, those are the smaller goals. I think Tyson needs boxing due to how his mental state of mind works. If Tyson Fury's state of mind is to have a certain goal, I think and I feel that each time that Tyson Fury gets to that low point in his life, he needs to create another goal. So for me, just him saying, well, hey, that's it. I'm done. I beat Klitschko. Now I'm feeling bad. I'm sad. Let me get a drink. Let me try to dull the pain. Let me do some cocaine, bars. Let me do this. Let me go out and slam a bunch of chicks. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do this. Let me do that without fighting. Well, he came to the realization that he needs boxing, right? So if he needed boxing, then why are we having this conversation? Like, why is he trying to now get out of the sport of boxing? But then you call out Francis Ngannou. Like, okay, you quit boxing, real boxing, to do something similar to boxing. Fighting man, I don't see a fighting man actually doing that. I see a fighting man actually wants to do exactly what he was prone to do and raised to do. Not quit, hang on the sidelines, kinda, and do this little just kick along shit show. That's what I call it. You want to fight Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is a hard punching MMA guy. He's not a boxer. And it reeks of Floyd Mayweather. It's almost like, hey, if you don't want to get beat up too bad in the ring, you don't want to take too many risks, you be like Floyd Mayweather. But one thing about Tyson Fury, he didn't do what Pretty Boy did. See, to me, Tyson is acting like a lot of those guys from the PBC. Because that's how they thought and that's how they were taught. Okay, and for Tyson to pick up that doctoring and just ride with it. Hey, yeah, I'm going to quit, but I have some big news. I'm going to retire from the sport of boxing. I'm not going to fight the best, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a huge announcement and then we're going to do some exhibitions. Fuck that. That's whack.org. That's whack.org, people. Tyson needs to fight every one of those guys that think they're better than Tyson Fury. And I'm just thinking, like, okay, where is the mindset? Tyson Fury should not try to be like Floyd Mayweather. Tyson Fury should be more like Roy Jones. Okay, you think you're better than me? Bring it. Oh, you say he is? Oh, he said he was. Bring it. That's how that works. And back to Tommy, he's making a bad example for Tommy because Tommy beats Jake Paul and he might fight someone else and then he retires. Then what else? Oh, I'm the best now. But it all goes back to resumes. It all goes back to who you fight, and who you fight reflects your resume. Okay. So I look at someone with that type. Look at Deontay Wilder for a second. Use him as Wilder had he had a perfect record. And everybody ran his ass up the flagpole. Why? Because they knew, man, you ain't fought nobody. You ain't fought those guys that claim they're the best. But then he was in an era of the Klitschko's, and he didn't even fight a Klitschko. So you didn't even fight the top guys. You even had the Klitschko's talking about who you didn't fight. Well, at least Tyson Fury did that, but Tyson Fury only did that. He only did that. He only fought one Klitschko. He didn't pull a Chris Bird. He didn't fight one and then get beat by the other. Okay? And then a lot of people don't even talk about guys like Chris Bird. And it's crazy because I'm like, you forget, everybody's talking about Wilder, but what about the guy that went head to head with David Tua? What about the guy that was in there and actually had a win over Vitalik, even though that was an injury that stopped that, just like the Lennox Lewis fight. Wilder knocks out RoboCop. He has the power, devil troll media. Tyson is the best of his era. I doubt he is the greatest of all time. No, he's not the greatest of all time. And we don't know if he's the best of the era until he fights the people in this era. Now, see, here's the thing. When a fight actually gets made, or when Tyson Fury gets off the high horse, because I think this is all motivated by arrogance. I'm not fooled by anything. You mean to tell me your arrogance overcomes your mental illness? So if that was the case, what the hell was wrong with you 6 years ago? All you had to do was come. You called out Wilder, a guy that's a one-trick pony, a guy that doesn't really know how to box. You beat him, then you beat Dillian White, your sloppy sparring partner, and then you're the best of all time, and you're getting out of the sport, saying that I'm better than everyone in this era and before me. No, that's disrespectful. That's taking it too far. Yeah, it could be because after the fight, it was mostly behind the jab. Stephen Bateman, welcome to Counterpunch Silver. Go to the community. We have a lot of stuff over there that a lot of people that haven't seen, but the members, those are for you. And I have some huge news coming very soon. Okay, so I'm going to drop that down on you guys in due time. AJ signs 2-year contract with OCP. RoboCop Murphy, it's you. Ed, fight on Joshua undercard. Eddie can sort that. Tommy versus Jake over here in the UK would sell out O2 Arena. Yeah, I think it would. But unfortunately, it's not. And this Daniel Kinahan stuff, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it, honestly. I think people kind of kept that under the hat for so long until they couldn't anymore. Larry Holmes had the same problem as Tyson Fury. They didn't rate his opponents, and the man didn't get his props. Larry Holmes is one of the best to ever do it. Well, Larry Holmes is different than Tyson Fury. Let me tell you why. Larry Holmes was in an era that he was right behind Ali. He was younger than Ali, but he sparred and he knew everything that Ali knew. That's why he had one of the best jabs in the business. That's why Floyd, Money Mayweather, he was Floyd's favorite fighter. If you guys didn't know that, that's Floyd's favorite fighter is Larry Holmes, not Muhammad Ali. Larry Holmes. And Larry Holmes retired, and Don King pretty much strong armed him to come back to the sport because you had a young, strong, vicious, short, quick, powerful, bulldogish type fighter by the name of Mike Tyson that was knocking everybody out in so many seconds. 6, 7 seconds. Bah, 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 taking those guys out. And he was strong armed to come back and fight him. Larry Holmes was retired, bro. Eddie Herner says he regrets not signing Fury. He did say that, Scance Rants. He sure did. Now, if only he knew what Tyson Fury could do. Bars. Tyson Fury is the all bum champion of all time. I wouldn't say that. I think Fury had a late start. I think the arbitration fucked everything up. But from the arbitration, we got one of the best fights that I think was a smoke screen for everything else. And when I say smoke screen, the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight, the third one, was not necessary, but was very enjoyed. People appreciated it. So, but it wasn't necessary. If the fight didn't happen and the Tyson Fury fought Anthony Joshua, that should have been, whoever the winner was for that fight should have been praised. But Wilder deserved his arbitration because that's the contract that they had at hand. Okay? It was legal. Funny how BT Sports ain't shouting the pay-per-view numbers for Fury and White didn't break UK record. I know that much, or they would have said it. Yeah, they would have said that. They would have said exactly that, but they didn't, so therefore they ain't mentioned it. He has at least fight the winner of AJ Usyk to say he is the best because if Joshua wins, he'll have a better record than Tyson, and if he beats Wilder, Tyson will have no say in the matter. Well, the gaming circle. Here's the thing. Joshua has a better resume than Tyson Fury right now. Anyway. Okay, they both beat Vlad and they both beat White. What's the difference? Wilder. That's it. Wilder beat Ortiz. That's it. So let's stop beating around the bush with this shit. Tyson Fury's resume, yeah. White, Wilder, Vladimir. WWW. That's it. That's all we have from Tyson Fury. And now, I've done all I'm going to do. I don't want to get brain damage, but I'm better than everybody else. I could beat him with one hand tied behind my back, but I need things to do. Well, if you need things to do, you need to get your ass back in that ring and do it easy and to show people. The first time was after the Wilder draw. Fury asked Eddie to make him an offer. Eddie offered him $15 million. Tommy said that his ESTA was denied, or visa was denied, because surely if he's going to fight, it works, and he needs a work visa. I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, I would imagine that. Despite having 2 L's, I respect AJ more than Fury. AJ tried to make the fight against Wilder. Even Wilder admitted that he was offered more money, and he tried to make the fight against Fury. Well, I look at it like this, okay? I view that in reverse. If AJ would have said, man, we tried to make that fight with Tyson Fury so many times, fuck Tyson Fury. He's a diva. That would have made more sense. I think Tyson Fury, though, is uh, maybe smelling his own success a bit. Nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes. Nope, nobody really does. Kirk, so the fight is off. Martin Ramos, I don't know. I don't know if the fight's off. I just know he can't come to the press conference. So he can't promote the fight. Now, we don't know if it's off per se. So I hope that's not a go to, you know. I hope that's not a go to, like, oh, I don't know what happened. I've done everything that I could, those type of things. I don't like to hear that type shit. Kurt, do you think Canelo is capping when he said James Kirkland is the hardest puncher he's fought? I don't know. But see, understand that was at 154. That was at 154. Wilder a bum. He wanted, and maybe he was. I mean, Ernie Shavers was one of the hardest punchers, said by Ali. He didn't, didn't mean he was the best. It said he punches the hardest. Because, James Kirkland did go at Canelo like that first round and just like gave him havoc. I mean? He wreaked havoc on Canelo, and Canelo just stood in the pockets. And I think he tired him out, and I think the rest is history because Canelo started counterpunching. Yo, big man, UK in the house. Is that, I want to say stepping pot, but it's stew pot. Wilder a bum. He waited for Vitali to retire and ducked Vlad for a year. Then he fought bums for 5 years. Well, I think Wilder is just he's a case of when you don't have the right management team around you, or you try to be protected. And Shelly Finkel protected Wilder. We know he did. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want his other fighter to fight the fighter that was up and coming. He didn't want Wilder to get embarrassed. If you imagine if Vladimir would have fought Wilder in 2014, or better yet, just, like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury deserves props for beating Vlad. He does. Because everybody thought he couldn't do it. Then he came back to the sport 3 years later and he beat Wilder, and everybody thought that he couldn't do it. Everybody thought he was going to get knocked out. So you got to give Tyson Fury that, maybe Tyson Fury, I know Tyson Fury loves to party. I know he likes the nightlife. He likes to talk to people. He likes to do that. If he didn't, you wouldn't see him in people's face a lot. You wouldn't see him during COVID season when he's supposed to have fucking COVID, hugging people and taking pictures. You wouldn't see him doing that. You wouldn't see him out and about renting cars and all that stuff. You wouldn't see that. Okay, so with Tyson Fury, I think Tyson Fury is planning to go out. Because if you heard him say, he said, well, when Usyk stays into the division longer, then come holler at me. You guys remember that? I mean, that's exactly what he said. I think Tyson is going to take another hiatus. I think he wants to convince people that he's retired. I think he wants to do enough to himself to convince himself that he is retired, and then come back to the sport to see who's doing what at the time. If it's worth his while, he'll come back. If it's not, he won't. Klitschko signed to fight Jennings before Wilder won the WBC and then lost to his mandatory in Fury. How Wilder ducked Klitschko for a year. Propaganda. No, Wilder wanted that fight. I was told by sources that Wilder wanted that fight. And Shelly Finkel, I don't think really had any really real interest for that fight. Kurt, remember when Fury said that he's going to retire, then come back when he's 35 or 36. I believe that, That may happen. But fighting guys like Francis are going to. I think the worst thing that could have happened to Tyson, as he did that WWF stuff. Because if you could make all that money by just doing that, why would you box? Chisora UK finest fought many men. KSI offered Jake Paul to box Tommy Fury as a co-main event on his boxing event on August 27th. Wilder's no bum. Boxing is a business. His team was looking for opportunities to make him look like the best in the ring. Well, they did that. Tyson Fury's problem is he did too good of a job in making Deontay Wilder look basic. And I don't mean that as far as fighting him. I mean that as far as talking down on him. You don't tear a fighter down. You build a fighter up. But if you go in there and call a fighter a bum, then you beat that fighter, then how good is your victory? You've already called him a bum, a one-trick pony. But see, even that one-trick pony shit backfired because you called a guy one trick, and he took that one trick and damn near leveled you with it. Okay? Chisora did a better job against Usyk than AJ because he had an actual game plan, and he knew what his game plan was: war. Chisora knew, I'm going to go to war with Usyk. If it works, it works. If it don't, it won't. Feds are all over the Furies. Yeah, it looks like it, man. It's bad. I watched Wilder for the title defense. Klitschko would have killed him at that time, but to claim Wilder ducked him, anti-Wilder propaganda. Klitschko also said that Wilder should fight other people. Yeah, he did. Well, he said he should fight other opposition. He did say that. I said that earlier. He complained about Wilder's opposition. What's your favorite boxing movie? Mine is Rocky 3. No, man. Probably Play It to the Bone. Yeah, Play It to the Bone. Joyce versus Wilder. That would be a good fight. Yeah, Wilder, he wanted that fight. He just didn't get it. And, it was the powers that be, I think, stopped that from happening. But Klitschko was just like this Papa King. And he's seen this baby king, the baby champion. He's seen that. Nobody let me call me no damn baby champion. Tyson Fury doesn't want to be in the position as a man to be beaten, but a man to beat the man highly regarded. Well, yeah. Just Tyson Fury, I think, at this point, if he's really retired, and I'm going to leave it with this, guys. If Tyson Fury is really retired, I think he retired because he can't handle a defeat. I think a defeat would probably put him back where he was when he did win. I think that. I feel that. I feel that Tyson Fury's keeping on and holding on to that piece of joy, knowing that, hey, I did it without being defeated. And Owen Bradley, counterpunch to you. I think that he needed that. He needed that victory. He got his own statue in the UK. You guys forget. So he got a statue. Wilder got a statue. Those guys don't need to fight again. That's how he's looking at it. He doesn't want Wilder to fight again because Wilder is part of his legacy. If Wilder retires and then he retires, they can sit back and talk shit and call each other on FaceTime across the pond and talk about how good their matches were and all the money that they made doing so. I think they could live with that. Look at their trophies. Look at their, these statues. If you got a statue about your success, that's your legacy. Can I get a yeah. Vacate the belt ASAP. Kevin Knight. He needs to vacate. Stop babysitting that belt. Stephen Bateman, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Everyone knows Wilder was protected. He never fought any of the top heavyweights except Ortiz. Who's the real age? We don't know. And Fury's, who was actually a cherry pick gone wrong. Well, they needed somebody. They needed somebody besides Ortiz. So if Wilder beat Ortiz, an undefeated fighter that hasn't fought anyone, then you fought Tyson Fury, another undefeated fighter that was a former champ, and you're the current champ. That looks real good for the resume, and it also looks good enough for you to ask for more money. But what they didn't realize is they were going to be offered more money, and I think they got greedy. They were offered that money from Joshua, and they were like, damn, $100 million, what's the catch? Well, the catch is, obviously, if you're going to pay someone $100 million, that fight is going to be bigger. And I think DAZN projected that fight. If Wilder would have signed and start fighting on DAZN, that fight would have built up to the amount of the potential that I think they anticipated. And I think when Al Heyman heard $100 million, he was like, you know what? If these fools are trying to give this guy $100 million and we only gave him 3, well, I know we can get a lot more than $100 million. The WBC needs to make Fury champion emeritus already. Emeritus. Okay. Do you think Wilder wants Usyk or Joshua to beat Fury so one of them can become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world and Wilder beats Usyk or Joshua and becomes undisputed? I don't know. Because I say a lot of people want shortcuts. A lot of people want to warp. A lot of these fighters want to warp to that last fight. Like you notice, you got these guys that, why is it Caleb Plant fighting Jamal Charlo? Why is it Jamal Charlo fighting David Benavidez? Why is it Caleb Plant fighting David Benavidez? Why are we not having these fights? Why are these fights not happening? Because everybody wants to just warp to the stage where they fight the big fight. They don't want to fight these guys that is necessary to show why they're there, why that fight, or why they deserve that fight. They're not doing that. They just want, hey, let me sit around, fight, bum, bum, bum. Okay, guy, used to be good, bum, bum, bum. Now give me the fight. Some people are not even fighting. They're just hanging around. Oh, man, I got an injury. I can't fight. But I'm going to wait because I'm going to get that championship fight next year. Fuck that. I'm not going to, that's what we're hearing. That's what we're saying. But as far as Tommy Fury goes, Tommy Fury, man, I think he needs to get his lawyers on that. I think his lawyers should have knew before he took his ass to the airport that, hey, you won't be able to travel. He should have knew that before he left the house. He shouldn't have got to the airport and found out he didn't travel. That means somebody's not doing the job. Counterpunch. Someone's not doing their job on Team Tommy. Team Tommy. Right? Weird lighting on your cam. I really don't think Fury would fight Usyk. The blown up middleweight doesn't motivate Fury. Well, he should. But then again, he hasn't fought any of them. He hasn't fought any of the guys that beat Joshua. And he hasn't fought Joshua. So, I mean, for someone, and let me get off Fury, Tyson, but for someone to talk shit about a person's career or a person's shortcomings, you have not done that. 200 million motivates, don't be naive. Surprised there's no footage of Tommy at the airport. Damn. That would suck if he didn't go. And if Tommy Fury didn't go to the airport, that means Tommy Fury's lying. Tommy Fury's like, you know what? I'm not taking this fight. This boy beats me. My legacy, my family's legacy is over. That fight ain't worth 200 million. Too many belts and too many champions. Canelo fighting Triple G doesn't prove anything in the third fight. It's all about ego booster. I think Usyk beats all of them. Wilder might catch him with only one, in my opinion. Well, if he does, he better finish him. And it better be some fuck. It better be a knockout like damn, what's the Polish fighter's name that he knocked clean out? Better be like that. The Saudis spend 200 million on a couple of players for Newcastle. They can afford it. They got it, man. They can afford that money. I don't think anyone wants to see Fury and Ruiz. I don't think so either because Ruiz hasn't done anything since his loss. That's just logical. I thought Tommy was only getting 2 mil. Why Jake doesn't come to the US? He's scared. I don't know, man. I just know that all of a sudden things like this that all of a sudden happen is just too convenient. AJ sold his body to the Saudis. What's your favorite boxing match? One of them is Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward 1. Barrera Morales 1. Ali Frazier 1. Ali Frazier 3. Ali Liston 1. I think also that Tyson is like members only, and he mentioned Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano did not want, and I'm doing a video on Rocky here. He did not want to be a defeated fighter. Okay, and you've seen it. If you get out of the sport at 32 years of age, bro, nah. Karma Boxing and MMA, salute my man. Counterpunch to you. Tommy is connected to the Irish mob gangster for real. I did nothing wrong. Ruiz, I want to fight Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Need to run it back for the third time so I can get money. I'm broke. Saudi can afford and any cash sum for any fight, especially with the price of oil nowadays. That's true. Shit's up and up. I respect AJ the most out of all heavyweights because he is the only throwback fighter. His resume is by far the best, and he is the only one continuing to try to push the envelope to fight all the heavyweights. Well, here's the thing. Joshua's going to make more money because and he should. Joshua should make more money because he's fought the guys that give people the most problems. But the sad thing about it is we won't know that. Andy ain't fought Wilder. Andy ain't fought Fury. Usyk ain't fought Wilder. Usyk ain't fought Fury. These guys were in a members-only club and they fought each other. That's all they really did. That's it. One beat White, the other one beat Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz and White never fought, so who knows how good anyone ever is. There's too many fights not happening. Do you agree that Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor is the ultimate boxing? No, don't. Made a lot of money, though. Made a lot of money. A lot of money. So I think money motivates more than anything else, not competition, not good fights, not good opposite. None of that shit matters. I think money matters. Follow the money. The only time it didn't matter for Tyson Fury is fighting Joshua. I just thought that was just too damn strange. You fought Wilder. But, yeah, Tommy Fury, I think they should have knew something before he left the house. It's just too convenient to me. He said, I don't know why. You could, and if he had an idea, it was like, well, I feel that maybe no ties. I think maybe he was told not to say Daniel Kinahan instead of just, I don't know why. Dude, you knew why. But yeah, man, I think Tommy Fury. I hope the fight happens, and I hope if Jake Paul. I hope Jake Paul takes the initiative now. You know, so we will see what happens with Tommy Fury. We'll see if he's allowed to fight, and if they know he can't come to the States, they need to reschedule that fight in the O2 or somewhere else. Okay. But, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm going to jump off of here. Got some work to do. Everybody, God bless you. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.